What's up guys, Sub-Zero here, back for another VOD review. Today, doing a VOD review of our new Rank 1 North America Dishsoap. So, Dishsoap has been sitting pretty consistently at about 1600 LP, has been climbing a lot, and as you can see as the time recording this, it's 1640. But Weijin was really just absolutely destroying the ladder in such a way that, it seemed like Weijin was close to hitting 2k LP. Luckily for Dishsoap, I guess Weijin had a bit of a stumble today. So Weijin is rank 2 and Dishsoap is now rank 1 North America. So congrats to him. Also, congrats to him on this game that he's about to play in Magic Time World. I know that this is going to be a very cool game because Dishsoap clicks a very cool augment, one that got buffed up a lot this patch, and one that I really want to talk about because not only did this augment got buffed, but some of the enablers for the augment got buffed to the point that it maybe is an insta-click. I mean, we will see. And Dishsoap starts the game off with a really nice Fate Weaver opener here with the 2-star Twisted Fate and the 2-star Aatrox here. He could very easily just take Shimmer Scale Essence and play a good game from this. I think these two augments are very easy rolls here. So I think, most people would look at Shimmer Scale Essence and say, okay, Shimmer Scale, maybe make a vow, and we have a great, maybe fast 9 game plan from here. But Dishsoap sees Exalted Adventure, and he immediately rolls and then takes this here. Like, literally insta from this spot, which is crazy. I mean, it actually makes his opener a lot worse because now he has to kind of play for this kind of stuff. He's looking at psionic items, trying to figure, okay, what the heck are we supposed to do here? He actually has 3 Primordial and Chop here, and then I think realizes too late that he needs to fit it in here, so actually loses out on a round of Primordial here, but he doesn't want to, fully sell this kind of stuff because he would like to play Primordial for the early game because we're going to be lost streaking anyway with this augment. That's the first thing about Exalted Adventure. If you guys have not played around this, you know that you start basically every single game with this on a loss streak. You're playing down an entire prismatic augment, so you are just going to have to loss streak with this augment. He throws his 3 units into planner here, and he's just kind of trying to figure out, like, what am I actually going to do with these? There's not a lot of obvious overlap. The only real overlap that I can think of is Meepsy, at least, is a connection for Pyke and Gnar. And then I guess you kind of have like Maokai for Akali, and then like you put Gragas on the board as well and link up there. The problem being that he doesn't have a great psionic item for the Pyke, so it's going to be a little bit difficult to kind of like play into psionic here. So Dishsoap, he needs to figure out what board he is actually going to play. But while we kind of sort out our early game and just a loss streak, as you're basically always going to do with this augment, we can kind of talk about this augment in general. It got buffed up pretty considerably. The number that Riot threw out was 15%, which doesn't mean a lot, but a lot of the cash outs just got buffed up a little bit to the point that they call it 15%. So a lot of those cash outs are... Okay, you know what? I'm a super nice guy, so I actually went and found there is some information out here. Little Buddy Bot usually posts this kind of information on what the cash outs are. Here, this is a lot less annoying to look at here. But here is the previous loot table, and here is the new loot table. So you can kind of see, they basically just added gold to everything. This one used to be 5 gold, now it's 15 gold. This used to be 8 gold, now it's 18 gold. They basically... I guess across the board, they just added 10 gold to everything. Oh, okay, easy enough. So all of these offerings just got plus 10 gold from what they were before. So these are all of the new offerings that you can get from Exalted Adventure. Some really good stuff in here. Obviously, Radiant items, being able to Radiantify any of your items, getting artifacts with Fawns, Radiant TGs. Basically, any of these are fantastic. You do have to plan a little bit for these. In an ideal world, you would have some kind of unit that could hold on to Death's Defiance when you play this, because that's the only one that's like kind of the odd one out where you kind of... Death's Defiance and Infinity Force are these artifacts that you really want some kind of like AD brawlery, bruisery type unit to put them onto. And we'll see what Dishsoap wants to play towards this game. If I mean, the Pyke would be a very nice holder of those items, so you could definitely throw them onto him. We'll see what board he ends up playing here. Ends up taking the free 3 cost here, just because the free 4 cost is not great either. This is at least it gives him the opportunity to find some other 3 costs to play around. And he's going to team plan a bit, and he is going to land on this Meeple version like we talked about, Meepsy being the connector here. Can play for the Rammus here, and then just play a random, yeah, sure, Fizz onto the board here to reach 5 Meeple. Looks pretty good, makes a lot of sense, and we can just continue our loss streak here. The other thing that we can talk about as we get further on here is, okay, if this is the version of the comp that we were deciding on, what items do we want to go for here onto the Gnar? Gnar got buffed up pretty hard this patch. He's very likely to be our primary carry this game, because Pyke is not a very consistent primary carry. He does good damage, but you need some kind of consistent damage dealer to really have a good game plan. So what do we want to throw on to Gnar? And here, if you look at Gnar with 3-star and 3 items, and let me bring it back to prior to the B patch so that we have a lot of data here, you see most common build that does quite well is just a Deathblade Guinsoo Infinity Edge. You want him to get attacking a lot. He's this unit where every 5th auto throws out the boomerang, so you do want to get him autoing a lot. It's interesting, his Meeple bonus is just that he gets extra physical damage per second, which I believe does also crit with the IE. So yeah, you can see how he looks fine on him. Doesn't look like absolutely necessary, but looks like a pretty good item to build in general, and then you just want AD on top of that. So it makes a lot of sense. We have basically, I mean, half a Guinsoo, and that's about it. No swords to account for besides that, so hopefully we will find some on the way here. But yeah, he is just going to get into his board here, hold on to these Aatroxes for now. Actually going to hold the Akali on board right now, which is kind of interesting, because that's not the unit that he wants to play for long term here, but is something that he can hold right now. So we are going to get our 2 anvils here, obviously Armor Loss Streak, get our first duplicator, and he is just going to play this board for now and probably just fit the Vhagar in here for Meeple on this board. Yep, seems decent enough. Wants to, he'd really love a sword here, but he does not get it, so he's going to have to be forced to take tank item, and he is going to complete the Guinsoo's Rage Blade here, and then tank items, he can leave the glove open by making Protector's Vow plus Sunfire. Looks perfect here. Okay, and then he gets to keep the glove for the AE, like we talked about. All right, second augment here. There's basically 2 schools of thought you can put second augment into here. You can either take Econ and go for really, really quick 3 stars, which will be nice to proc your board. Or you can take some kind of combat augment here that is going to make you strong enough that you can kind of survive and, not need the econ so much. So yeah, we have that combat here in Sweet Treats. The other 2 options are pretty mediocre, so I think we can reroll those pretty quickly here. You do have the synergy between Sweet Treats and the fact that you're going to get a lot of items from Exalted Adventure later, and yep, that is what we are going to pick up here. We're going to roll down here, try to find our best board, find a Kali too, which is kind of funny. So we can play that for now, and we crack this. So it's between Flicker Blades and Fishbones. I don't think you can actually take Flicker Blades here with Guinsoo made already. It's going to be kind of like too much attack speed for this Gnar guy here. So yeah, I do think it is just gonna be a Fishbones. I do also wonder, if you take Fishbones here, is it possible that we're gonna like throw boomerangs at yeah, I mean, we actually just threw a boomerang at Nunu there, which is pretty good. I mean, best case scenario, he just throws it like straight to backline. Though they would have to be within range, right? But I mean, honestly, with sniper range, it's not the craziest thing in the world. So yeah, and look at that. Wow, wait, we actually pick up a Rammus here. This is a huge pickup for the board. This is going to give us a lot of frontline, what we were kind of lacking. That was the main thing that we were lacking here. So the Rammus, if there's 1 Giga High Roll you get per game, it's hitting the Rammus here for Dishsoap. This is actually so huge for him. But yeah, I mean, this is also really nice to win these 2 fights here. Like we talked about, the 2 paths, either win or take econ and don't win. He chooses to go onto the win path here by winning these couple of fights with the artifact here, which is going to be really nice. Any amount of HP that you can save this stage is really big. Gets the duplicator off of Varus here. This is really nice as well. You're just going to insta-take this because it's going to allow you to hit your units. Ideally, you hit these guys like 4-1. We will see if that is possible for Dishsoap here, but the earlier the better. Not looking like we're gonna be able to hit them this stage, but yeah, like 4-1, 4-2 really at the latest. We do already have 4 Pykes, but only 3 Gnars right now is a little bit lagging here. We do end up making the IE, so stats make sense here. Get that spell crit onto Gnar, on the boomerang, and onto the little meeples. Looks good. Actually, oh, this fight's so close. So really wishing he could win this fight, but at least it is a good loss. Going to continue to roll down here and does pick up the 4th Gnar. Okay. 4 Gnars, 4 Pykes here just to keep tracking them. Probably not going to be able to go for a Meepsy 3 this game. If you hit really hard for it, you could go for it. Like Pyke reroll boards will often go for Meepsy 3 just because like it works as a unit that you can go for. Or like if you're playing Meepsy Reroll, obviously you go for Meepsy 3. But not really very close to hitting it, and really just want to use these 3 dupes, right? We have 2 right now, and then we're getting a third on 4/1 to hit our units, right? 4 copies of Pyke and 4 copies of Gnar, which means we need 10 copies total of the rest of them. And ooh, actually, we're getting kind of close here. Yeah, okay, pretty good. So now 6 copies and 4 copies here. So 5 plus 3, we need 8 copies, and we only need to find 5 more here. So it's actually pretty realistic that we could see a 4/1 roll down to hit our board here. We're going to roll down, try to pick up, yep, just even Shroud here, and we are going to roll here. And yeah, it does look like Weijin is very much ready to roll as deep as he needs. He's getting quite close here. Finds actually another Samira here and another Pyke. He's actually incredibly close here. And yep, that last Gnar does do it. So he dupes everything. Wow, last second gets it all in here. What a beast, man. Actually being able to do this turn APM-wise is crazy. Just to get the units in. Ends up playing a double Samira board for now, but no harm, no foul. We will win this fight, and getting the cash out on this turn is absolutely huge. And he's going to end up taking a Deathblade here as a solid item for our frontliners, or for our backlines here. Sword Overflow, 1 buff, 2 buff, Commerce Core. I think you'd really like just a combat augment in the spot. We're kind of good on items. I mean, clearly it's going to be neither of these. Sword Overflow is not bad. It's a bunch of AD onto all of our units, and we already have this Deathblade here that's going to amplify it, and it synergizes really well with our sweet treats. So you could see that, but let's see what's under the 2 other ones first. Yeah, Trifecta, Radiant Rascal, both pretty bad here. So he is going to take the Sword Overflow. I guess you could think about like a Radiant TG onto Pyke here, but he would just rather just have all of these Deathblades, especially because we rolled so deep, found those extra Samiras on a roll down. We're 7 Samiras here. So Dishsoap now actually has the idea that we can go for Samira 3 as a duo carry on this board. And she's actually going to hold on to one of these Deathblades here. And the Pyke is going to hold Sunfire. This is a really interesting idea from Dishsoap. And the idea being Pyke, 1, is going to survive very long if we just put him second row. He is going to just be chilling for most of the fight, or even, you know, third row as we have him here. He will usually either dash to backline and then he'll cut backline, which, you know, is not too bad, or dash to like a frontliner and then he can start heal cutting frontline. So like he's actually going to get good value out of the Sunfire. Almost reminds me of TFT boomers out there. Help me out. What set was it? Was it set 1 where people would go Frozen Heart Pyke, and Frozen Heart was like it was like an aura item that slowed any units that were close by. That old TFT, man, so gross actually. All right, into carousel here. Lovers 5-cost shop. You could take 5-cost shop and just try to kind of like guarantee that Jhin. Bard would be pretty good as well. He's just gonna take this one just because he wants the instantaneous power. He, I think, is saying like we want the gold right now. We want to be able to roll for Samira. We want the gold to just have this right now. He also, oh my god, he hits the Jhin off of this. I mean, that is just gross here. So now we have this guy onto our board. This is amazing here. Oh, this is also interesting. It looks like he's going to move the DB over to the, going to put DB onto Gnar and say, when we were looking at those stats earlier, the IE didn't look that great on Gnar. So he's saying we can actually just throw DB onto this guy. It's actually going to be more damage. The spell crit is actually like not that necessary for Gnar. We'd rather just have the flat, just AD onto him, which makes a lot of sense. A lot of his damage does obviously come from his autos as a Gwinsu unit. As far as I understand it, the Meeps, like the meeples that attack with Gnar would still need IE to spell crit. I'm not 100% sure about that, but the fact that IE doesn't look that crazy in the stats and Deathblade does look really crazy in the stats would suggest that you don't 100% need IE here. Also, the Samira is just, a lot of her damage is based on her ability, so it makes more sense to kind of like centralize the IE on the unit who really cares about it. Look at this board that we beat, by the way. Vex 2 Fast 9 board just gets cleared by the power of Gnar. All right, we want just 2 components here, ideally. So we can roll this one. Titans doesn't look great. You could throw it onto Pyke, but Titans Pyke is pretty bad here. BT also not great here, but maybe good enough. He's looking at it. And yeah, he is going to end up taking the BT here just as like, okay, a decent enough item. I guess you could move Gunblade down for Pyke, or maybe it's finally time to move the Sunfire to just a random frontliner. But I think the idea, the reason why he's doing this is because he's thinking like this Sunfire has very good odds of just dying if I throw it onto somebody like Poppy, and the Pyke's actually going to be able to proc it a lot. here, which honestly, it makes a lot of sense. And yeah, he ends up just going the double healing onto the Pyke and then just the triple damage onto the Samira here. Another fight, very, very close, but Gnar is just going to clutch it out. 15,000 damage from Gnar 3, man. This guy is such a beast. And interesting as well, we are not looking at, pushing 8, capping the board that way. Dishsoap is saying that our spot is so good, we can fish for the Samira 3 here, and that is going to be a bigger spike on the board. I mean, Samira 3 is going to cap out our board insanely well. I mean, you've seen like these Samira reroll boards pop off. She has, been getting buffed in previous patches, and I mean, look at this now. Gnar 13k, Samira 12k. We finally have like a real like nice duo carry on the board. And check out this other thing that Dishsoap did. He opted to play Rost here over the Jhin. It's kind of crazy to cut a Jhin off your board in any circumstance because, I mean, you're getting not only 3 sniper, but you're also getting the Eradicator bonus onto your board. But look at our board right now. Think about our board. What do we need on this board? Do we need tankiness or do we need damage? We 1,000,000,000% need more tankiness on this board than more damage. So why not play the Rost here, get the 10 Armor Namar into our entire board. It's also really good onto the Rammus, who has the extra 400 HP from Meeple, getting an extra bunch of HP from the Indomitable here. So it actually makes perfect sense to go for this here. I think that's just such a heads up idea from Dishsoap, and just it's good TFT at the end of the day. This VOD, the Wasian VOD that we did the other day, both of them are just like really good TFT. It's just how do you just players saying, okay, what makes sense in my spot every step of the way. I mean, I do not think at 2-1 this game, Dishsoap had an idea that he would play for Samira 3, but okay, I rolled down, I found 7 Samiras on level 6. I might as well go for Samira 3 as a duo carry on this board, and look, she's doing fantastic work, helping us win fights that we'd otherwise lose. I mean, that's what TFT is all about at the end of the day, is like making plans on the fly, doing the thing that makes the most sense for you in the spot there, and so much of this game from Dishsoap has been that, so it's just so cool to see TFT at its best, honestly, and I mean, the board is doing fantastically. 10 streak from Dishsoap. He cashed on 4-1. He basically lost the entire early game down to 50 HP, cashed on 4-1, and has not lost a fight since. And a lot of these fights are not looking close. I mean, that is a very strong board that we just beat there with our Gnar reroll, and now Rammus 2 here is going to be the pickup here. Also, I thought he was holding that DB on bench so that he could remove the items off Pyke once we got to Elder Dragon here, but looks like he just forgot that he had an extra DB, so he's just going to throw it onto Jhin here. Seems decent enough. We can still move items on Elder here. Probably want to at least move that Gunblade down, if not the Sunfire over. These are all pretty bad, I will say. I guess you could take Strikers and move like one of the DBs off of Samira, and that's at least spell crit there, which seems pretty good. He's gonna opt to take LW. Okay, this is reasonable as well. Just even shroud one side, LW the other side. Guarantee that you have armor shroud on both sides, especially in a fight like this, where we can now just corner both units, right? We can corner Samira on the left side, corner Gnar on the right side, and then not worry about the fact that our even shroud's all the way on the right, and we have no shroud on the left here. So once again, really smart stuff from Dishsoap here. That is a Leona 4 here from TFT GPT. So we'll see if we can beat that. That is the big baddie of this patch here. The unit that you never want to see is somebody hitting a Leona 4. It is also triple Bramble Vest, which is actually hilarious here. So we'll see if we can chew through it here and get to backline. So far, the fight looking decent. The Leona on our backline, which actually gave Pyke pretty good positioning. We do finally get through it, and the Rammus pulls the enemy carry into him, and we win the fight. I mean, so crazy here. Morgana gonna be our final in on this board. Makes a lot of sense. Oh, actually, gonna play the Mighty Mech here. I mean, the shield is nice onto the board. The damage amp seems pretty redundant here because we do have sniper in, but I think he's just valuing the shield and saying, damage amp. I mean, you can never have too much damage amp. You know, there's no diminishing returns with damage amp. And we also have an insane amount of AD and insane amount of everything, so might as well get some damage amp here. We do actually lose this fight to this guy, so hey, maybe a challenger here. We will just see. This is the last item. Oh, hopefully on Jhin, but we don't actually find it here. I guess we can QSS the Pyke. Yeah, this seems fine. Then move Gunblade down to Jhin. Yep, this would work. Okay. Want to make sure that our Pyke can actually reach backline. He's actually going to middle the Pyke and just kind of make sure that he survives here, and also just have him kind of do as much damage as possible to frontline. And also, now the Pyke can get a cast off, deletes the LeBlanc there. The Samira doing good work, and it is going to be a first from Dishsoap. I mean, Just what a game. Just an absolutely beautifully played game. This is what TFT is all about. Being creative, playing this weird kind of stuff in a spot where a lot of people wouldn't play it. And just showing off the power of this augment in general. I think this augment is very, very strong after the changes. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Check out my Twitch down below where I will be streaming my Metafy group tournament for everybody who's in Legendary Tacticians and some Tacticians University players who are going to get in off waitlist for my tournament essentially starting at 2 p.m. Central Time. If you want to check that out, will be a ton of fun. Sorry for the lack of streams the last few days, but as you can probably tell from my voice, I've been a bit under the weather. Hopefully, I will be 100% tomorrow. I think so. I'm feeling mostly better today, just a little bit of congestion. And if you want to play in one of these tournaments, it's probably too late for the one that is tomorrow, but you can always subscribe to any of my coaching programs at my Metafy down below. We will have another end of set tournament, so if you want something to grind for and you're sad that there's no tier 2 circuit in TFT, you know, that is done. I am trying to essentially build my own tier 2 circuit for my students. So that's what it's all about. I will be doing another one closer to the end of the set. So if you want something to play for, something to motivate you, a group of people to study with who are all motivated to improve in TFT, go check it out all at my Metafy down below. And yeah, thanks for watching as always. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.